Hey, good evening, everybody. I'm Audra, and this is Coming in Hot, where myself and my guests talk about mindset theories and real practical ways that you can improve your lifestyle, your relationships, your health, and yourself. And as you can see, things look quite a bit different, and we are in transition right now for a new set. And in fact, we may have multiple. I don't really know what all we're doing right now. Sometimes I have a full plan in my head and I can foresee it and know every detail how it's supposed to work out. And sometimes it's literally the universe is just telling me to just hold on and fly by the seat of my pants, and it'll all come together when it comes together. So for right now, we have a green screen. So y'all, I was so excited. We'll get to the show in a minute. So excited about this green screen, right? And what all we can do with it, the possibilities, right? Or, it really raises the bar for the show, and being able to, add all kinds of new, what is the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Why am I fumbling over my words? I guess I didn't think this part through. All the technical stuff I can't do. That's why I don't actually know the words for it. Maybe that's why I'm stumbling. So anyway, Will and George and Jason, everybody, they're going to have a lot of fun probably with this. But anyway, so I'm excited about what's to come. But as I was putting this together, y'all, I have to say, I realized that, my chair is green. I bought this chair just knowing it was going to be perfect for interviews. Not with the green screen. And I was also informed that I can't wear a lot of green and things like that. Y'all, green is one of my colors. For real. One of my favorite colors to wear. So we're probably not going to do green screen all the time. I'm not like the vainest person in the world, but let's be real. I want to, I want to look my best, and sometimes I want to play with my colors. Y'all see my hair. I'm not cookie cutter. And if you thought that's what you were going to get, you on the wrong show. So most definitely not cookie cutter. So anyway, set changes are coming, and all kinds of new fun, exciting little ideas and things. Our creativity has been through the roof the past couple of weeks. So I really, really missed you guys, and I'm excited to get started again. And so I want to talk to you about, hold on, let me get my cards in order. Let's go ahead and let's talk about today's show. I am super excited. It's been weighing on my heart. It's been something that has been placed on my heart for a long time, to really dig into this stuff. This is hard things for me to talk about, at times. And I really, really hate that. But a lot of what we're going to talk about, which is not that it's new concepts per se. However, when you really dig into mindset and theories, and when you start to look at paradigms and things like that, you really have to evaluate yourself with a new lens. You kind of take the rose-colored glasses off when you're looking at yourself. And that view sometimes is very scary, and it's very intimidating. And before I got ready to do this show, I can tell you right now that all of this kind of played out in my life. So anyway, it only seemed logical that I kind of take it back to basics, and I share my journey with you as I am regrouping, getting myself together, and just share with you guys what has really helped me turn corners and really grab onto new mindsets and make leaps and bounds and changes in my life. So that's the whole point of this show. I want to do this show and share with you guys what I've gone through, what I'm going through, what I'm learning from my experiences, and what information, where I'm getting the information from, and what the information is that is actually helping me make real changes. So anyway, again, new series getting started, and the new series is going to be based around limited beliefs and paradigms, willpower, mind hacking, and vibrational energy. So lots of new fun topics and things to talk about. Some of this may be new to you. Some of it may not be new to you. And some of this is new to me. It's not brand new, but some of it is, I guess I'm still kind of Bambi, I like to try new things, but then when I get a little uncomfortable, I kind of pull back, and, that's exactly why we're doing this show today. Limited beliefs and paradigms. So anyway, let's go and get started. And like I said, and I did not say this before, but let me tell you now, I'm going to come in hot today. So I hope you are ready for this one. So, limited beliefs and paradigms. We live in a thought universe, guys. And the best example I can give you of that is that I cannot make you believe anything that you do not want to believe. And our perception is reality. So you all know that whatever you believe is what your reality is. You create everything around that. So in this show, we're going to dig in a little bit deeper. We're going to talk about what are limiting beliefs and paradigms. We're going to talk about what are some of the paradigms that I found in my life. And I'm hoping that by sharing my experiences and some examples, that it will help you identify some of the paradigms and the limiting beliefs that you have decided to live by in your own life and that, hold you back. We're going to talk about how operating from that limited belief mindset, we're going to talk about how that plays out in your daily life. And we're also going to talk about the consequences of staying in that mindset and how to change it if we have enough time in this episode. So let's start with limited beliefs. Limited beliefs are something that you believe to be true that limits you in some kind of a way. And a paradigm kind of goes hand in hand with limited beliefs. I guess you could interchange them in a way if you really wanted to. But paradigms, for anyone who has never heard this word before, a paradigm is a multitude of habits that are lodged in your subconscious. So this is actually the definition given by Bob Proctor, who I admire so greatly and deeply. He was a big part of the documentary The Secret that is on Netflix. I recommend it very much to anyone who is in a growth mindset. If you've not watched it, grasp onto it. It's short, it's sweet, it's to the point, but it can be very powerful if you can latch on to the information that's in it. If you are not in a growth mindset and you are seeking a growth mindset, again, I highly recommend watching The Secret on Netflix. If you don't have Netflix, jump online, buy it off Amazon like I did, and watch it at home. I've watched it several times, and I believe in continuously putting this information back, into your life, bringing it to the forefront, because we live in a society that does not really help facilitate the types of mindset theories that we're talking about on this show. So anyway, again, Bob Proctor's definition of a paradigm is a multitude of habits that are lodged into your subconscious. So limiting beliefs and paradigms are located in the subconscious, not in the conscious mind. And we know that the subconscious mind is what, rules everything. That is your emotional mind. That is really what makes you tick. That is really what makes you do the things that you do without thinking about it. So an example of one would be of a limited belief or a paradigm would be, I can never do anything right. Another one is, I am not fill in the blank, whatever you want to put in there. I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not knowledgeable enough. I'm not talented enough. You name it, you put it in there, and there you go. You have now created your own limiting belief system, all built into your subconscious. And so these things right here, like I said, they rule your life. If your perception is reality, which I hope that most of you can agree with that, our perception is our reality. And if you are able to use those thoughts to create what you want, and all you're doing is creating limited beliefs, or if that's what your foundation is, then you're going to have a really, really hard time climbing out of that hole. Let's see some of mine. Let's get to the nitty gritty. Oh, I'm going to get my tea on that one. Because this is me being really real right now. So I have, like I said, I struggled to do this show, but that is like an understatement. I really went through a shift where I've been doing this show now for a couple of months and absolutely love doing it. And it has been whirlwind. And it was whirlwind to the point of I started to question, was what I was doing, was it really going to work? I mean, I'm not sure how I got to that point, seeing as it's been working. Nothing changed. Let me be clear. Nothing changed per se as far as my show. Now, 2 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago, week 1. Nothing significant has changed with my show whatsoever to have made me feel this way. But somehow, somewhere deep down inside of me, this fear arose of, does anybody even want to listen to me? And probably most importantly, this was the one that is really got me, is can I really deliver this transformational, life-altering information to anyone who needs it? Because it is so much needed in my own life. It has just opened up my heart, my spirit, my mind, to so many different possibilities. And I have watched things realign and rearrange in my life such to a point that I have undeniable belief in these mindset theories. However, I'm still struggling at times with paradigms and limiting beliefs that were instilled in myself, and by others when I was a child, when I was very super impressionable and my conscious was being, formed. So anyway, this information is stuff that I still need to this day, and doing this show is a form of therapy for me. So, anyway, when we, having those limited beliefs, like I said, it kind of took me back for a minute, and even though I was questioning something that in what was happening, playing out in my real life, actually, it was contradictory. What I was feeling was contradictory to what was actually happening in reality. But because I really, truly, deep down in my spirit have that fear and still have not 100% let it go, it began to rule me and control me and paralyzed me. But only for a minute, because your girl's learning. So I'm back. Anyway, we probably need to take a break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to talk so much more about more paradigms and limiting beliefs. We are going to talk about how to find them in your own life and how to recognize them, and then we're going to move on into how do you change these. So anyway, I'll be back in a minute. You guys stay tuned.
Hey, where all my geeks at? Because I got something new for you. The brilliant Jason McKay is the amazingly average geek, and he brings you all of the geek news, gaming, comics, and music. So you can check him out at astronetradio.com, the amazingly average geek, and you can also follow him on Facebook, Twitter, and find him on YouTube. Make sure you tell him that I sent you.
All right. Hey, everybody. We're back, and we are going to jump right back into the beginning of this series. And today we are talking about limited beliefs and paradigms. And so we, kind of talked a little bit about what paradigms are, what limiting beliefs are. And I'm going to now take some information off of a website and kind of further dive into this. And I'm going to be reading it off my handy dandy cards here. But if you would like to go to the website and check out this information for yourself, it is a really, really good informational website. It's called changingminds.org. Let me say it again, changingminds.org. All right, so anyway. So when we're talking about limiting beliefs and paradigms, like I mentioned before, these are subconscious. These are not in your conscious mind. And your subconscious mind is what rules everything. So that being said, let's talk about some of the different types of paradigms and limiting beliefs that come up in everyone's lives. So certain phrases like, I do or I don't. So, for example, I don't deserve fill in the blank. So I will not expect or seek it. You could put anything you wanted in there. I don't deserve love. So if you don't deserve love and you're in a toxic relationship, then you're going to stay in that pattern because you already deep down believe in your soul that you don't deserve love. If you believe you don't deserve success by your own standard, let me be really clear. We're going to talk about success off and on throughout this show. I'm going to throw in some side notes. We're going to talk about success. When I say the word success, I want you to think personal success. We're not talking about living by anybody else's standard but your own. When that's what you're seeking, that real, true happiness, if you are living by the paradigms that dictate your life of I do or I don't, then you're going to slow down your progress, So I can't blank. So I will never try, or I will never go on to take lessons and improve my abilities or capabilities. The very, very, very first thing that comes to mind for me is singing. This is a personal one for me. I grew up in a household where my dad had, I'm talking about the voice of an angel. You people think you've heard Elvis impersonators, and he's probably literally shaking his finger at me right now. But that's okay, because I'm just going to tell it like it is. But you think you heard people sound like Elvis? You ain't heard nothing until you heard my daddy, because my daddy had it going on. Now, he hated to be told that because he was never trying to sound like Elvis. It was not an aspiration of his. It just so happened that his natural voice was very, very, very similar in his pitch and everything. So, but I grew up in a household where there was a lot of singing and music, and I sang when I was growing up all the time. Shout out to my best friends. Somebody needs to post the name of the group because I cannot remember. We even had a girls group, me, my sister, Lynn, and Corey. So we had a pretty awesome group. We wrote a really cool song too. So y'all can post some of the lyrics down in there because I know you really want to. But so I grew up in a musical family, and all on my dad's side of the family, there's a lot of musical talent, and I find a lot of passion in music. I find it very cathartic and therapeutic. But I was never a person that sang in public until I got on up into my latter 20s, and I decided that I would step out and maybe start singing with I guess you would call it a praise team. This church was so small that you pretty much had a music director. There was no choir. And there ended up being, I think, myself and two other people, the music director's daughter and somebody else. And we would kind of get up there and help lead the music. And so that was my first time ever taking a God-given talent this God-given talent and putting it to use somewhere other than for my own selfish reasons or whatever. And then fast forward to 10-ish years ago or so, and I have now gone through a divorce. My dad has passed away, or my daddy. I have my dad. So my daddy passed away. My younger brother had passed away. So there's been a lot of turmoil in my life off and on. And actually all that I'm talking about, the deaths of my brother, my father, and the divorce, all of that happened in less than a 5-year span. And I'd have to go back because I'm not really thinking through my memories right now. It would take too much time. But I want to say that I was divorced within 2 years, a year maybe, of my dad's death. And I'm very much a daddy's girl. So that was extremely, extremely hard on me. And anyway, all this is done, and I have now moved back to Texas defeated, on some level. I feel like I've got my game plan together. I'm going to go back to school, but I really had come back defeated. I tucked my tail, my whole world that I had built and everything I knew was going to come true. Everything I knew that was going to happen was not happening. And someone suggested that I go out to any of the locals here. It was called McCann Street Bar and Grill. And y'all, that was my spot. If you ever had a place that literally felt like the song Cheers or like the TV show Cheers, that was it. That was my spot. And so I go into this little bar or whatever, and I've never really been to a bar, and I don't go to bars to drink. Still, even to this day, I've never really went to a bar just to have a drink. And went in there, and they were doing karaoke, and gosh, I don't even know. I don't even think anybody else could remember either. It wasn't important to them. My nerves were probably so shot, and I probably had been drinking at that point just to try to calm the nerves, that I cannot remember what song I sang. But I do remember one of the very first songs that I learned to sing for karaoke was now it's gonna elude me. It's about Elvis. Black Velvet, I'm sorry. And that still to this day is my probably all-time favorite song to sing, is Black Velvet. But anyway, I went off into this long story, but the point of that whole story is after I got out there that one time, nervous as I could be, probably halfway butchered that song. But once I finally released that anxiety that I'd let build up in me because of some fear that I had in my head based upon some limiting belief that people would laugh at me, or maybe I would feel stupid, or maybe I would look stupid, or whatever it was. But those are the things I remember ringing out in my head, all of those things. And all of those kept me from getting out there and doing something that truly makes my heart and my soul happy. So that is probably one of the biggest paradigms, or one of the first paradigms that I had to break. And I still to this day get nervous when I sing in front of people at times and everything. But I no longer have that limiting belief that if it makes me feel good to do something like that, to be somewhere and to use my voice musically to try to touch someone, or if I need to use it therapeutically, I don't worry anymore about anyone's judgment, because I don't sing for anyone else. Okay. I sing for my God and for myself. So anyway, back to these cards, y'all. I went off on a tangent. Let me see. Oh, Lord have mercy. I sure did, didn't I? Okay, back on track. I am not. Easiest example of this that I hear all the time is, and my son uses this, and it drives me crazy. I'm trying not to cuss. Really trying not to cuss. I am stupid. Okay. I am stupid means all of me is all of stupid, and all of stupid is all of me. So I'm going to repeat it so you can let that absorb for a second. Okay? When the phrase I am stupid is used, this is the definition. I am stupid means all of me is all of stupid, and all of stupid is all of me. That right there breaks my heart. I don't want anyone to ever feel that way or think that way. No one is stupid. We can do stupid things, make stupid choices, but you don't have to be stupid. You can choose to educate yourself at any point in time. I'm just saying. But when you talk about being stupid and you use that, you're implying that what your implication is or you believe is that your abilities are fixed and you cannot learn. So if you believe you're stupid, then you are implying over and over and over and over to yourself that there's no way in changing this. You have zero ability to change your level of stupidity. That, my friends, is classic stupidity. Okay. I must. Okay. This one is interesting. This one, I think, is probably one of the more low-key limiting beliefs or paradigms. And this is part of the reason why. We are bound by values, norms, laws, and other rules that constrain what we must do and what we must not do. However, not all of these are mandatory, and some are distinctly limiting. When I read this, I underlined the word distinctly because, well, it was distinctly, it stuck out to me. But it's very important that if you want to search out these paradigms, these limiting beliefs, and you want to actually change them and squash them, you have to be direct. You have to know exactly what you're looking for. So I'm going to give you an example of that. If you think And some of you are not going to see this one coming. So here's an example. If you think I must clean the house every day, then this rules out the time that I have to spend on something that's more productive. I know I just blew some of y'all minds, but I really mean it. Like, as dumb as that sounds, if you limit yourself to, you have to, and we're not talking about healthy habits, okay, guys? We're talking about unhealthy, limiting beliefs and paradigms that hold us back from moving forward with great things, small things. I don't care what it is. They are in everything that we do. And so sometimes we will tell ourselves that we have to do all of these things, when in all reality, we don't really have to do any of them. It's actually complete choice. It's a matter of prioritizing what result do you want? Your actions are going to reflect the results. So, or whatever your result is, whatever result you get is a reflection of your actions. So anyway, we're going to move on to the next segment here in a minute, and we are about to get into, keep turning my cards around backwards. Ooh, y'all, we're about to get into mindset theories and how to change your limiting beliefs and your paradigms. Fun stuff ahead. I love mind hacking. So anyway, you guys stay tuned. Again, I'll be back in a few minutes after these words.
Are you looking for a way to escape all this craziness going on? Maybe slip back into the past? You should totally check out the Century Cinema Film Fest at the Historic Select Theater in Mineola, July 10th through 12th. It's going to be a weekend of classic cinema filled with rare movies, newsreels, cartoons, trivia, and more. So don't forget that July 10th through 12th at the Historic Select Theater in Mineola is the Century Cinema Film Fest. For more information, you can email lakecountryplayhouse@yahoo.com, or you can call 903-569-2300 or 903-707-0927.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Coming in Hot with Audra. And this evening we've been talking about limiting beliefs and paradigms, and it's a pretty tough show, I'm sure, for a lot of people right now. It was a little hard for me to put it together because I started experiencing some of this in my own life, and but there's no better time than the present to share with you guys what has helped me in the past to get through these moments, what's helping me get through this now. Share these concepts with you guys, and these different mindset theories. So we left off at the last segment, and I was kind of breaking down into bite-sized pieces and really easy to understand layman's terms how some of these paradigms begin, like literally the verbiage. So it's with I do and I don't deserve, I do deserve, I can't, let's see, I am and I'm not, I have to or I must. And when you accept these beliefs, you really are writing your own story. And so a quote that I read earlier today, and I shared it on the Coming in Hot page, was one I'd actually never heard before. But it is, if you accept a limiting belief, then it will become a truth for you. And this was by Louise Hay. She's an author, a motivational speaker. She wrote the book You Can Heal Your Life and Mirror Work. She's written some other books and everything. But anyway, it was because I was getting ready to do the show. I read that this morning and I was like, whoa. Spot on, Louise. Spot on. When you accept your limiting belief, that is your perception. And your perception is your reality. So whatever your reality is what you've created for yourself. So anyway, some of the other things that have really helped me understand some of the other people that I've listened to that have really helped me through this most recent little, whatever you want to call it, little bubble. David Baer. He is also a motivational speaker and an author, CEO, multimillionaire. And he had said that thoughts dictate your actions, and then those dictate your results. And that is I cannot say any more true, just like I was mentioning a minute ago. Whatever you put your focus on, your actions, your results will reflect that. So if you feel poorly about something that you're doing and you let that subconscious idea run you, then it is in charge and it's going to create whatever the paradigm is, whatever the limiting belief is, you will create it. So he also, talking about that, thoughts dictate the actions that then dictate your results. The results then reinforce the original belief, which is kind of what I was saying right there. He just says it much better than me. So if you're not able to go in and break down these limiting beliefs and change them, and trust me, it can be done. It's done all the time. People do this all the time. David Bear, for example, he is a former drug addict, alcoholic. So he's been successful. He's been unsuccessful. He's been successful and done drugs and alcohol to the point where he was miserable and was stagnant, personally. And so for him, he had to do some real digging and soul searching. And I would definitely recommend him as somebody to look at his bio, read his bio, and check it out and see for yourself that, the proof's in the pudding with these people. So anyway, he wrote the book Mind Hack, which, like I said, I love mind hacking, one of my favorite things. But David Bear believes that we operate from a powerful state and a primal state. And he believes those are the only two states of being that we can operate in. And I had to take these things and I had to separate them and think about it for a minute. And when you look at his breakdown and his explanation of them, I tend to agree with what he says. So a powerful state is when you are operating from a place of joy, excitement, curiosity, calm, peace, and passion. Now, the direct opposite, primal state, is when you're operating from a place of boredom, anger, frustration, and some level of fear, no matter how minute it may be. David Bear teaches that with these two concepts, the powerful state of mind or the primal state of mind, that you are either in rest or relaxation mode or you're in fight or flight mode. There is kind of no in between. There are different levels. Okay, so your fight or flight mode, you may not be on 10 flight or flight right now, but if you're still anxious, there's somewhere deep down inside of you that is feeling that fight or flight. So that's what's giving you that anxious feeling. Let's see. And you are going to give the experience whatever meaning you want and whatever you choose to. That is a little bit hard for people to understand and accept. People don't want to accept that they have the choice to choose the meaning of any and every experience given. Because it takes a lot of control to do that. And these paradigms are locked into your subconscious. These limiting beliefs, they are locked into your subconscious. And it's not easy to change the subconscious. So when you have those things working and then you have new experiences going on, sometimes it's going to be difficult to decipher, if you're operating from your emotional brain, or have you learned how to switch over into a powerful state. So it kind of takes a little bit of, I think, back and forth a little bit. That old saying, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. I find that to be very, 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 very true with the mind hacking and with trying to learn to operate in a powerful state of mind. So Miss Umsalot's back. Okay, so anyway, let's get into how we can change our limiting beliefs and rewrite these paradigms. You have to take consistent action and work from a powerful state. So again, a powerful state is when you're operating from a place of joy, excitement, curiosity, calm, peace, and passion. It doesn't say multitasking 50,000 different things at one time. It does not say that being in a powerful state means that you are going to win every single day. Being in a powerful state does not mean that you are always going to react the best in all situations. We all have faults. Being in a powerful state does not mean that everything is going to always tick and fall into place. We have to adjust for those times because that's not necessarily going to happen. It says when you're operating from a place of joy and excitement and curiosity and peace, those are the places where you find your ways to cope with those negative things that are going to walk into your life, because they don't ever stop happening. And I, for one, can tell you, because I probably lived the first 30 years of my life by that mindset. I had a paradigm in my head that I thought that operating from a powerful state of mind would mean that everything was basically perfect and there were no negative entities or anything trying to come in and attack or unalign me or anything. Not a healthy mindset, let me tell you. So let's see. Yeah, it's hard to grow from a primal state of mind because you're operating from fear and anxiety and from doubt. And so it is in your best interest, if you would like to make changes in your life or you would like to change these paradigms, to make sure that you really start to try to learn techniques and habits that will lead you into a powerful state. As I mentioned before, the subconscious mind is the emotional mind, and I wrote down an example. Just happened this weekend. I'm not sure how well the camera's going to pick up, but I've got scrapes, bruises all over me, guys. We've been working so hard on, it's not a yard, it's a jungle over in the corner. It's a monstrosity. But we've been working really, really hard on it, clearing it up. And I've noticed over time that my daughter is so scared of bugs and spiders in particular. And I love you, honey, but I'm going to throw you under the bus for a minute. So here's my example. We were out in the yard working on it, and I decided to pull some of the grass and weeds away around a tree so that I could lay some mulch down to protect the roots and everything, and of course make the yard easier to mow. And there were a lot of worms. We've got some great soil in our yard, and so there were all these earthworms. And so my oldest daughter that's here right now, she is like, and my husband, they're like, hey, there's a worm, let's pick it up. And Piper is like, no, and she's freaking out. She's just acting weird. She's overreacting to the whole situation. And she starts talking about how the worm might bite her. And it was interesting because we kept explaining to her they don't bite. And we went over every different which way we knew of how to tell her that there was no way that worm was going to bite her. It's not interested. It doesn't like you, blah, blah, blah. You think of it. We named it. And it wasn't until my oldest mentioned, Piper, didn't you hold a snake? Now, a snake can bite you. A snake could actually really hurt you. And at that moment, it was like a light bulb went off of her head. And she goes, oh, yeah. After that, y'all, she was like the worm saving queen. She was on a mission. She got her a bowl, and she was saving all the worms, and she was going to take them and relocate them so that they could live happily ever after. And like I said, it was like a light bulb, like a switch went off in her head. And she is so afraid of spiders. That right there, the spiders and the bug, for her is absolutely 100% a paradigm. This is where I'm throwing my husband under the bus. He's terrified of them. And for him, it is real. And I'm telling you right now, for her, it is absolutely real. Because remember, these limiting beliefs are in your subconscious. The things in your subconscious, those actually create, they create your perception and your reality. And so terrified of them. I'm talking about, you mentioned the word spider. Even if she doesn't have to know if it's here, there, it does not matter. Losing her mind. So that has come down from my husband because of him being so afraid. And so now her imagination is just run wild, and she's just scared of all spiders. And I'm like, even though they're not my favorite, they're really, really good for the environment. Miss Thumbs a lot. They're really, really good for the environment, and they do a lot of good things, and so I'm not as terrified of them as she is, but she overcame her fear like that. That tells you how quickly a mind shift can happen. So the fastest way to change a limiting belief is to see that it is untrue. which is exactly what Piper figured out. So anytime you can do this with anything. Any limiting belief, if you do enough research, if you spend enough time maybe questioning all of the little reasons why you think you don't like it, you may come to find out that it's not something that you actually dislike. It may be something that you want to try. It may actually become a goal, something for you to overcome. We like to kid ourselves a lot. We're kind of coming to the closing of the show. I'm going to wrap it up, but we like to kid ourselves a lot. And we also like to hype ourselves up a lot. And the follow through sometimes is really, really, really tough. But the follow through is a reflection of your actions. So if you want different results than what you're getting, you're going to have to take different actions. And it's not going to be easy. Definitely not going to be easy. Guys, we're talking about your brain is basically wired in a certain way. And until you can get yourself to that moment where you have that light bulb go off, that changing moment where you realize, whoa, I was actually wrong. I was so wrong about that. It's empowering. And that's the breakthrough that you need in order to crush the limiting beliefs and the paradigms that control your life. Just kind of in closing, if you're not trying, then you're not doing. And if you're not doing, then you're actually going backwards. And doing is a relative term. Sometimes doing is taking the time to take a nap because you have been putting your hands and your voice wherever your talents are. You've been lending your energy to your purpose and to just everyday obligations. And so sometimes that can just mean taking rest for yourself. But there's there's a rhythm in the universe. And if you've ever felt it before, then you know what I'm talking about. There is no denying it. There's a vibrational energy with the universe, and it's always there. It never goes away. It can't be stopped. It can't be started. It's always there. So just remember that anytime you start to get a little scared and you think that, maybe if you just stop for just a second, that maybe stopping for just a second. Let me rephrase. Stopping for just a second is a really good thing. Sometimes taking a step back is actually what you have to do to propel yourself forward, just like an arrow. In order for the arrow to get all the way from point A to point B, you don't just fling it. You have to pull it way back. You pull it back, you take a couple of steps back. You reevaluate your situation. You reevaluate your habits. You reevaluate your heart. You really reevaluate your soul. And when you do all those things, then that's when you really exert change, and when you see the growth mindset really come into play, and you can see yourself. It's not seeing yourself, it's actually doing. You'll stop the trying part. You'll stop the trying part and you'll start the doing part. Kind of in closing, if you want to change, focus on what you can do. The steps you need to achieve that, and make a move. One right after the other, after the other, after the other, after the other. That's all you have to do. And when you don't know what the next step is, ask somebody, but keep walking. Don't stop. Don't do like I did and psych yourself out. Follow your purpose. Follow yourself. Be yourself. Stop trying to be yourself and just be yourself. So that's about all I got. And I hope you guys are able to take some of this away and apply it in your own lives and put it to work. And I hope that it helps you grow. And I hope that it creates all kinds of momentum in your life. And I cannot wait until next week. We will dive in further and we will take it even further and get into more stuff. So anyway, feels so good to be back. Bye, everybody.